Existentialism, existence and essence. Uh, we have seen this before in feminism, in Simone de Beauvoir, and her theory of existentialist feminist. We have understood meaning of the words existence, existentialism, essence, and essentialism, whereby existentialism mean that we can define or write our own destiny, and essentialism mean that we are limited to the predetermined destiny. Our final cause, our teleology is limited to whatever has been written for us, right? So existentialism essentially is essentially that we can determine or write our own destiny. This is existentialism. On the other hand, essentialism, what does essentialism mean? Essentialism is derived from this word essence, that a thing has particular essence, right? Essence or inherent meaning. Essentialism means it comes from essential, particular, having particular essence and or inherent meaning. That means the final cause or teleology is limited. Final cause or teleology is limited. Your existence, your existence is limited, right? So essentialism is an idea which assumes idea to be perfect, to be permanent, to be transcendent, and to be universal, right? Essentialism assumes idea to be perfect, permanent, transcendental, and universal. How does it how does it reflects in ideas? In ideas like religion or ideology. It reflects in ideas like religion, ideologies, even knowledge systems, right? Religion, ideology, or knowledge systems. How? Right? By I will take an example of religion. I will take an example of religion whereby religion assumes it to be perfect. Like every religion thinks it is perfect. Every religion thinks it has been here for time immemorial, and every religion thinks it gives an opportunity of transcendence to its followers, and every religion assumes it to be universal. But what this mean for the followers, that the religion limits itself, or religion limits the followers to the tenets of that religion. Religion limits followers worldview. Religion limits followers common sense. Religion limit followers right. You are limited by the ideas which were given by religion, or ideologies or knowledge systems, right? So all religions are essentialist because they assume themselves to be perfect, and the goal that a religion have is assumed to be final, right? So all religions are essentialists. All religion are essentialist. This means what? All religion are essentialist. This means one thing, that if you follow a particular religion, your final goal is predetermined. If you follow a particular religion, your day-to-day activities, your habits, your eating habits, your sleeping habits, even your bathing habits, everything is predetermined, right? Religion are essentialist. They limit you to the central principles of itself. They not give the follower to explore any other ideas, right? So all religions are essentialist. They assume themselves to be perfect, permanent, transcendental, or universal, and they don't give their followers opportunity to develop their own own future. The final goal of religion is predetermined. In Hinduism, it is moksha. In Buddhism, it is nirvana, right? In Jainism, it is moksha. In Islam, it is heaven. In Christianity, it is heaven, right? So the final goal of religions, of all religions, is predetermined. It is predetermined. It religions do not give you an opportunity to explore your own final cause, your own teleology, right? This essentialism in religion, this essentialism, this essentialism in religion or philosophy is this essentialism in religion or philosophy Kant calls it bad faith. For Kant, for sorry. For Sartre, essentialism in religion or philosophy is bad faith. Why it is bad faith? Why it is bad faith? Because man who is religious becomes man becomes a subject. Man becomes an object towards goal of a religion, right? It is a bad faith because you are just an instrument so that religion goes forward. You are just an instrument so that the principle of religions are relevant, right? So man is just an object in religion. That is why it is a bad faith, right? Religion does not give man an opportunity to transcendence opportunity is not given by religion. That is why it is bad faith, right? So essentialism. So by example of religion, we understood what is essentialism, and because essential philosophies, including religion and ideology, essential philosophies are totalitarian, right? They are totalitarian. They try to control, they try to have total control on you, on you. From childbirth, from birth to death, they try to have control on you. How you are going to be born and how you are going to die, all is within the four walls of religion. You are not allowed to explore your options. That is why all philosophies like religion, philosophies like ideologies are essential. They keep you limited within the four walls of those ideas, right? You become an object towards the final cause of those philosophies of religion and philosophies of ideologies, right? Right. So we understood what essentialism is. Essentialism is limiting limiting a person to essential idea of philosophy, right? What is essentialism? Essentialism is basically limiting man to some basic principle, not allowing him opportunities to transcend, opportunities to explore new ideas, right? This this essentialism essentialism according to Sartre is biggest limitation of Western political thought, right? Right? Plato is limited to this idea of philosopher king. Plato is limited to this idea of of what you call justice. He has an essential idea of justice, and he tries to make people around him act like that. Philosopher Aristotle is limited to idea of golden mean. Machiavelli is limited to idea of power or statecraft. Hobbes is limited to absolute state. Locke is limited to, I guess, liberty. Right? Every scholar of WPT are limited to some or other idea. They are essentialized in some or other idea. Like Hannah Arendt, who calls herself a thinker, right? Hannah Arendt, who calls her thinking without barriers, even she limits man to a political being, right? So every thinker of WPT is essentializing human being to a certain idea. This 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 for Sartre is biggest limitation of WPT. WPT Western political thought has been either idealist or materialist. WPT has been either idealist or materialist, but not humanitarian, right? Human has not been at center of WPT at any point of time, but before WPT, we have understood people like Protagoras have kept human at center. But in WPT, there has not been a single philosopher who kept human at its center. Protagoras gives idea of ethical relativism, humanism, but he was a sophist, right? Post-Socratic tradition has been either idealist or materialist, but not humanitarian, right? Right. To solve this deficiency of WPT, what does Sartre do? Sartre gives idea of existentialism. What existentialism essentially mean is that it is it is an effort to understand human. It is an existentialism is an effort to understand human. Existentialism an idea as an idea, what it tries to do is free human from essential ideas and understand human. Right? It is an effort to understand human. To summarize essential existentialism in one line, I would say this thing that existentialism is an effort to understand human, which in essence is existence is prior to essence. Very humanistic idea, right? Very humanistic idea, whereby you don't see you don't see humans as a part of a collective. You see man as a man, women as a women, and human as a human having a free will to do whatever they want to do. Right? If they don't want to do revolution, it is okay. If they don't want to be a part of a system where philosopher king is ruling, it is okay. Whatever they want to do is allowed to do. Existence is prior to essence. Right? Now, before this topic, I have used these words. Like again and again, I have been using object and subject. Right? What object and subject? Like explanation has not been there from my side in detail. I have tried to explain what is object and what is subject, but a detailed explanation was a long due. This is what we are going to do right now. By object and subject, what do I mean? Right? So object object in colloquial English, in normal English, in general English, is an instrument. Object is a thing, right? Object is a thing, an instrument. Now, object is a thing, an instrument must have some final cause. Object has a final cause. Object has of a pen. Pen is an instrument, is an object, is a thing for which final cause is to write, right? Final cause is to write. So object will be limited to its final cause, which is to write. Similarly, object object of a scissor, what its final cause will be to cut, right? So the final cause is very limited. Object cannot determine its own destiny or its own final cause, its own teleology, right? So this is object. This will The object will be emanated to write or to cut. Emanated means limited to. It will be limited to write or limited to cut. So object have no opportunity of transcendence, that is to do something different, to transcend from the transcend given the opportunity it has, right? We are studying for UPSC to transcend to become an IS officer, IPS officer, right? Right now we are aspirants, but we have an opportunity to transcend to an IAS officer or IPS officer. This pen I am writing with, right? This pen I am writing with, this pen is its final cause, right? To write on this screen is this pen's final cause. It will be emanated to write for rest of its life, right? Until it breaks. But I as a human, you as a human, anyone else has opportunity to be something that they want to do, right? This is what object means. It is just an instrument of which final cause is predetermined. Okay, now we are going to do understand subject. What is a subject? Right? Subject has opportunity to transcend, transcendence, opportunity to transcendence, right? But object has to be emanated, object has to be in immanence, right? This is what Sartre is trying to say, that as a subject you can do whatever you want to do, right? As a subject, man can write its own destiny, right? So in two lines or three lines, if I have to summarize existentialism, I will write existence is prior to essence, and then I will write that there is no essential truth. There is no essential truth. There is no God given purpose, right? Every human is free to determine their teleology, their final cause, their future, right? This is what he calls, this is what he calls a good faith, right? All essential ideas he calls bad faith, and his idea of being and nothingness he calls good faith, because this idea that Sartre gives a man an opportunity to transcendence, opportunity to become something, right? This is what he calls good faith, right? We have finished Jean Paul Sartre, whereby he has said that my idea is human centric, and I want to say that every philosopher before me, every religion before me, every idea before me is essentializing to a man, and and all those are bad faith. Whatever I am saying is good faith, right? In the next lecture we will see Althusser, ideas of Althusser, right? Before reading Althusser, I will just mention one thing, right? I will just mention one thing in this lecture itself, whereby we have studied Marx. There are two types of Marx, where young Marx and mature Marx. Young Marx talks about alienation, and mature Marx talks about revolution. Young Marx is humanistic, and mature Marx is a structuralist, right? Sartre, Jean Paul Sartre, analyzed Marx as young Marx, and Sartre says that Marx was trying to bring revolution to free man from alienation, right? This 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 view on Marx as given by Sartre was not taken in good faith by Althusser, and he has criticized Althusser in a good detail that we are going to see in the next lecture. So we'll start next lecture with Althusser's view on Marx. Sorry, Sartre's view on Marx and Althusser's rebuttal, Althusser's criticism of it. I hope this lecture helped you a lot. I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.